Counselor with the Athletic, Donovan, JB said that you guys didn't play to your standard tonight. What did you see that led to that?
So, sometimes when you have success, we've been playing well the past 2 weeks or whatever it is, you have lapses. And, tonight was a lapse. We played a team to their record, and how they've been playing, and, that can't happen. So for us, take this as a learning lesson, like, all right, we can't really play around, and we kind of came in here like, expecting, things to just kind of go well, and they did because we're talented, but then at the end of the day, that's how you fall into being up 4 in the fourth quarter, having little mistakes, different turnovers, bad situations, defensive lapses, and that can't happen. We gave up 30, 32, in the second and third quarters after holding them to 19. We get out to a great start, and then we kind of just say, all right, like, it's in the bag. That's not what a great team does. We got to continue to do it every night, and we've done it. We've been doing it, but ultimately we have to continue to, play to our standard every night.
What were the conversations like, either at halftime or kind of in between quarters or timeouts, about just kind of getting back into?
Yeah, same thing. Just like, let's continue to go, let's continue to play better. But at the end of the day, we have those conversations, and we go out there and we make mistakes. We did different things that fortunately we didn't pay for a lot of our mistakes tonight. But like I said, at the end of the day, we've been playing really well, and it's tough to have a night like that. But we're not going to hang our heads. Understanding that's just a learning lesson. We move on from it. And at the end of the day, San Antonio is one thing I know about Pop. They're not going to stop playing. They're not going to give them after down 40. They're always going to continue to run their stuff, play with confidence. And I think that's something that we got to learn from.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Donovan. How much did you benefit personally from the 3 days off recently?
A lot. I think that's the biggest thing, and I talked about it. I think with Danny the other day, like, understanding that the groin's been an issue for a little bit, and understanding that sometimes you got to take a day, and take a game, and kind of finding ways to rest in the tough. We had a tough January, so trying to find ways to manufacture it throughout, and the inconsistency of being in, being out. Is it sore? Is it not sore? Like, there's so many different things. So understanding that, and that's the great part is like I have the support of everybody on the team and everybody organization to take a day and kind of get myself back to where I feel like I'm capable of being the leader that I am, and you're starting to see that throughout.
You tweeted yesterday, Danny Green, him dancing on the sidelines early in his career when he was with the Cavs. What can you guys benefit the most from that kind of addition?
The easy answer would be his shooting. He's a 3-time champion. He's a guy, I grew up watching. I remember watching him dancing on the bench with Bron and whatnot. I remember him watching him against the Heat, breaking Ray Allen's 3-point record. I hated him at the time. but I've known Danny and his family since I was probably like 11 years old, 12 years old. We've played against AU, against his brother. I know his dad. So it's kind of crazy how life works. A lot of things come full circle, especially for me this year. A lot of childhood things are starting to come back, But I think the first thing you think of is his way he spaced the floor, but also his veteran presence around the locker room, calming presence, great personality. But when he gets in, he's a sniper. Especially in big time situations, he's done it year in and year out. So there's different things you can point to, but the first thing I would say is his shooting, and then also what he brings to our locker room is another veteran presence.
Danny Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. When's the last time you got a crossover like you did on Sohan tonight?
I've had a few like that. I just don't remember the last time. It's been a while. I remember a few. I've had one against Nerlens. I've had one. Who was it? Against the Clippers a few years back. That's kind of like my go-to, in those situations. But it's been a while. I will say that's been a while.
And then looking a little bit ahead to Philadelphia on Wednesday, you guys are a game behind them in the standings. I don't know how far you've looked ahead, but there's a real opportunity there. How much does that play into your mind going into that type of game?
100%. And I know it's on their mind as well. The first time we played them, they weren't at full strength, they didn't have James or Tyrese, and now they're playing really well, pretty good basketball. I believe they won tonight against Houston. We got our work cut out for us. I think the biggest thing is coming into Wednesday, treat it like a playoff game. We got to go there and win on the road. road in a rowdy place. You saw how they got for the Super Bowl. I can only imagine. You know what I mean? And I love playing those type of environments. I think it's going to be one of those games where we got to be in our A game. At the end of the day, it's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. We've had a few of those this season, but I think this might be one of the bigger ones because it's right before the break. Because both teams are playing really well, and they got a dominant force over there in Joel and James. And those other guys aren't slouches either. Tyrese can go get it. So we got to be ready. We got to be sharp, and we got to lock in.
Donovan, forgive me for going a little off topic here, but I also cover high school ball and high school athletes, and I wanted to ask you, since you were seen at a high school game a few months ago, tweeting about it, what's the importance of supporting these high school athletes in your local community?
Yeah, first and foremost, we need a shot clock. I think that's the first thing. That's the first thing. But I think the biggest thing, when I first started doing it in Utah, I did it because that's what I would have wanted. I would have wanted the local, team or whoever to be at my games and kind of create that that hype. There's a hype that comes with it when you say you're going. That creates a big game, and that does a lot for a high school athlete. And also it just shows support. I want to continue to show my support. Darius has been with me every time. Isaac has come as well. The coaching staff, we went to watch Buck's son play the other day. So being able to do that for our community, I think it's the biggest thing. Being able to be seen, because it's one thing to see us on TV, and it's like I tell people, you can give back, you can give monetary donations, you can do all that, but the biggest thing you can give someone is your time. And I think that's something that really stands out and honestly is a motivator, for not just the kids, but just seeing us, understand that we're real people too. We're here, we're watching, we're just showing our support.
What's your message to those local athletes that look up to you?
Continue to work. It's not going to be easy. We live in a day and age where you see on social media everybody's got a mixtape, everybody's got something, or everybody's who's ranked the highest. At the end of the day, it's not going to be all sunshines and rainbows. I think we, as I say we as kids, but understanding that it's a process. Things are going to go well. Things are going to be bumps in the road, but continue to stay with it and just have that. My biggest thing is having determination over negativity. There's going to be something in your way. Whether it's on the basketball court, academically, life, but continuing to push through and, continue to work hard, because that's ultimately what's going to get you, to where you want to go.
Tom Withers, AP, speaking of full circle, and since I won't see you, what's it going to mean to you to go back to Utah as an all-star?
Yeah, that's the biggest one I've been trying to keep away until we finish. No, you're good. It's there. I think for me, I think it's going to be one of those moments where you can sit, and I get there early. I get there Thursday. I'm doing a comedy show there. I'm giving back to the school, Kearns High School, that I've given back to a bunch. So I think that's a slight little plug for the comedy show there. But I think for me, like I said, you have learned to appreciate those moments. You learn to appreciate those things because they saw me grow up. I was, a young kid just happy to be drafted, and then given a role to be one of the leaders on the team early, making the playoffs, having big moments, having struggles, ups and downs, and, to grow into who I am today. I'm forever grateful, forever thankful. So to be there, my first time as a starter, back on the team that I was a fan of as a kid, there's just so many different things you can point to. And at some point in time, probably Thursday or Friday, I'll probably sit there and kind of decompress and just appreciate the moment, because at the end of the day, you got to appreciate the little things, because that's something that I've really been big on this year, is appreciating the little things. And like I said, I'm forever grateful, and it'll be fun.
I forgot you were sick last year and couldn't play.
Yeah, here. It's crazy here. It's wild. I was upset for a few reasons. I told everybody that I was going to go for 50, but Steph ended up doing that. But just being able to be in that space, in that locker room, to witness a guy in Stephen Curry have the night that he had, Bron coming back to his hometown. There's so many things. At the end of the day, I consider myself, one of the best guys to play this game, but, I'm a fan. I grew up a fan, and at the end of the day, this is something I've dreamed of as a kid. I'm never too big for that. So being able to be amongst stars, who I can call my peers, I think is always pretty special, and that's what All-Star Weekend is for me. Ever since I've gone, the first year when I won the slam dunk contest, and now here as an All-Star starter, and hopefully continue going.